This is Friday to Friday, your weekly wrap-up, going through the releases in rap and hip-hop from Friday, April 3rd to Friday, April 10th. I have with me today producer hailing from Detroit, Michigan, Gav, aka Lunar G.
Yo, yo.
And producer and artist manager hailing from Montreal, Canada, Matt Carrier.
Yo, yo, what's up?
This week's releases we have Bbymutha with Rents Due, C Stunna with Born to Stunt, Co-Defendants with Lifers, Coyote and Statik Selektah with Machetes and Micheladas, Juicy J with the Trippy Tapes Volume 1 hosted by DJ Scream, Marlon Craft with The Internet Killed the Neighborhood, Wiz Khalifa and Curren with Roofless Records for Drop Tops, Dave East with East Mix Volume 3, Fly Money Chillz and Link Sinatra with Visions, Kid Wild with Jobs Still Not Done, Liphead, which is Blockhead, and Elliot Lip with The Long Way is an instrumental project, Mike, Earl Sweatshirt, and Surf Gang with the double album Pompeii Utility. We got Nine Vicious with Emotions, Nino Breeze with Omertá, Swae Lee with Same Difference, Thundercat with Distracted, Tory Lanez with LOL Slutty Bass, shake my head Tory Lanez, R2R Mo with The Greatest Show on Earth, Young KO with Komodo, K Rhino with The End Us Tree, and 41 with Area 41. So many releases this week.
Yes, indeed. A lot of releases and a lot of long releases too.
Yeah, not only was it a lot, but there was long projects. The Juicy J mixtape was like 30-something songs. The Mike and Earl Sweatshirt project was 30-something songs.
30-song mixtapes.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on here?
It's fun, but it's a lot to get through.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just start off with the biggest release of the week with Earl Sweatshirt and Mike, Pompeii Utility, double album in the style of Speaker Box to Love Below. And Earl mentioned the album became a double album because both of them, Mike and Earl, they were both working with Surf Gang and figured it would make more sense and be more genuine to the audience to not separate it and just keep it as one long project. But they were talking about how they kind of made a bunch of little EPs. They would each get beat packs from Surf Gang and then make little EPs and then send it to the other one and be like, all right, check this out. Now what do you got? So they're trying to kind of like go back and forth, one-upping each other with these little EPs. And then once they had enough of those, they put the whole project together, which I thought was pretty interesting.
That's hard.
That's good for your creativity to have someone you can constantly bounce around with. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, they seem to be good friends and they're like interested in challenging each other creatively. So they're both a couple of the most interesting artists in the game right now as far as keeping creativity alive and pushing music in new directions.
Yeah, I feel like this felt like two genres, or two eras, I should say, of hip-hop mixed together. 2015-16 cloud rap with the beats and the production, like Lucky, that kind of like droney, melodic kind of shit. And then all the bars were like lean rap bars. Like they were just kind of like the way that they were rapped and shit. Like I love their just nonchalant, low-key. So it was kind of like a really cool combination. My opinion.
I will say for me, I do like I'm a bit more of a flow guy, so I prefer the Earl part of the album more than the Mike side, just because I feel like Earl's flow switches a lot more. Like Mike kind of has like the 2 or 3 or 4 kind of same flows, and I find that Earl just like kind of slides on everything in different ways. Production I found was a step up. Surf Gang really brought it. Again, like if what you mentioned before, the EPs, like if there's more of like a curating process, I guess, where like keeping the best for this, it makes sense. The production was really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. The vibes on every song. It was like kind of blowing my mind the way I was realizing Earl has really fully evolved from a technical rapper to like a vibe rapper.
Yeah.
And he came out the gate on some just like horrorcore Eminem shit. He could do that easily.
Right.
From like 15, 16 years old. And then that was like too easy for him. He's just always been evolving and trying to find like where his passion lays. And I think he really found that sometime around Feet of Clay was where he first took this more hard turn into this sound. And it was kind of jarring at first, but it's really come to define him now. And it's fresh and it's unique. And there's not anyone else that sounds like Earl Sweatshirt except for maybe Mike.
Yeah, that's for me.
No
that's
offense,
when I got on the train, because before, like I have a hard time with rap that's like too technical sometimes. You know, it's not fun all the time to kind of listen to, especially while you're working. You want sometimes a bit more of like the vibe. And yeah, Earl definitely shows that like it's all in the writing, right? Like anyone can be a technical rapper and take the time to really like form your bars and everything. It's a craft, but fitting words properly and in certain cadences, like he really upgraded that skill.
Yeah, for sure. And in the interviews and stuff, Earl is just giving off this confidence of someone who was way ahead of his time, and then the world just finally caught up with him. And now he's just looking back like, cool, you guys finally get it now. That's how it feels, because I think Feet of Clay kind of was ahead of its time, and he was super early to Mike's whole wave and that sound. He's the first person that I heard about Mike from. In some random interview, someone asked him who's his favorite rapper, and he said Mike. And the guy and the interviewer had never heard of him. He was just like, the guy's just name is just Mike. And he's like, yep. And I was like, I wonder who that is. And now
Mission
he's just
accomplished.
Yeah, he's become huge. But they never compromise their sound. They really know exactly what they're going for. It's super intentional. I love it.
Yeah, I couldn't remember Feet of Clay when you said it, but then that's the one with like Mac Hami and Mavi features. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that's what did it for me. Cause I was like, where did this come from? Cause Earl was not doing shit like that with those kind of people. And like Mavi, I'd found probably around the same time. So I was just like, that's kind of crazy, because I've been listening to Earl Sweatshirt for 10 plus years, you know, like however long his career's been, I've pretty much been a part of it, you know. So it's like once all that shit kind of caught fire, like Odd Future and all that stuff, it was just kind of crazy. So I think it is sick to see how he's evolved over time and just kind of like slid into this lane.
Yeah. And I mean, these beats aren't that surprising for him, because it sounds not exactly like something off 2015 to 2018, like I Don't Like Shit I Don't Go Outside / some rap songs kind of era.
Yeah.
There's a lot of 808s. There's a lot of trap style flows, but he's taking it in a unique direction. It doesn't surprise me that he would go for these kind of beats. I think this is totally in his lane, and he was able to blend the Surf Gang and the Earl Sweatshirt universes perfectly.
Yeah, no, the production was just wavy as fuck. That's what I kind of felt like. It was just whatever that wavy production, and it makes sense, like Surf Gang, you know, waves, whatever. But I was just like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Like Minty, again, and Kirkland were probably my three favorites.
Yeah.
Again, I think really stood out because of the production. And then Minty was the single, but again, really it harkened back to that kind of like wavy, lean rap kind of feel.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of songs on this. I was a big fan of the whole project. I have a list of standout tracks for Mike's and Earl's albums. So off Pompeii, I liked Not 4TW, Minty, Shutter Island, Back LA featuring Nakel Smith, Back Home, and Man of the Month. Those were my favorite off of Mike's. And then off of Earl's project, Utility, I liked React, Lead Belly, Charlie Tuna, Locusts, Tour de France, Chicago, and then Don't Worry and Charlie Tuna. Earl is doing like this new character or something where he's like pitching his voice up, and then the lyrics on both of those songs, they have a different flow, and he's going for a little bit more of like a braggadocious, like money flexing style, like bars. And I thought it was amazing. Those are like two of my favorite songs on there. I could totally enjoy an entire album of him doing like that pitched vocal with like, it reminds me of like La Tyler or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not what you'd expect from him, but he's able to do it in a completely unique way that's like,
and it's catchy. Like,
yeah, I was just gonna say,
sometimes like sometimes it doesn't work. That's the problem. The really high pitch, like it's when it's too you know, trying to find its pocket kind of thing. But no, Earl is just sliding on every single one of these beats, really.
100%.
And I'm excited to see too. I feel like releases like this also kind of like, I mean, you said it yourself, like he looks very confident, but I feel like it also encourages you to want to keep evolving, right? And I did see that the reception was pretty good too. So I mean, like, I'm sure he's gonna step it up even more on the next one.
To me, commercial rap kind of coming to an end, and so there's just so much. I don't know if it's happening naturally or people's focus is like actually shifting and searching for alternative styles and genres of rap, but I just think it's sick to see this stuff finally coming to fruition, like being pretty mainstream, quote unquote, like not as underground as it was. Like there's a whole new underground, and the other underground is kind of above ground now. So it's just kind of sick to see that.
It's not like when I was like, you know, 14, 15, when we would talk about the underground, it was a very different underground than what it is now. Now, like everyone has access to Spotify. No one is uploading albums on like an obscure website like DatPiff, right? It's now, it's like even if you're completely unknown, you'll use a distributor and get on DistroKid and Apple Music and all that stuff.
It's become one of those terms kind of like indie, where it's more about a sonic description, but it has a different definition for every generation. Because like you said, like when I think of underground rap, I think of like Immortal Technique. Like that's how old I am.
Yeah, no, but I mean, at the same time, you're not wrong either, because like you said, it just constantly evolves. So like that shit is underground still, you know, like it's still, in my opinion, I feel like I get what you're saying. Like it's not like a thing anymore, but it's more, it describes like a feeling or a sound.
At some point, underground could describe like boom bap and like backpack rap.
Yeah.
But now people would probably call that like Griselda adjacent or something. It's easier to have a big touchstone for their relationship with that sound.
And like back in the day, like MF Doom, right? Like the underground vibe is like not everyone knows about him. It's usually like you got to hear about him from someone else. Especially back then, like we weren't all on like social media all the time, and even blogs were like kind of just bubbling up on the internet and stuff. And then there's the second era, which to me is like when The Game was considered an underground rapper, where he was just like dropping tape after tape after tape after tape, like just nonstop, putting out hundreds of songs, hour songs. Like that already felt like not the underground that I was used to, right?
Yeah. And then I hear young kids on Reddit talk about the underground meaning like Osama-san and like rage stuff, more extreme rage stuff. And I'm like, okay, if that's underground to you, that's awesome. I don't even like, I can't even ever use that term anymore because I have no idea. I'll have to have a whole conversation with the person about what they mean by it. So it's like the terms become useless to me now.
Oh, Tech Nine, like strange music. When I think of underground, that was like especially that it was a label doing it. Like that was an underground label.
Absolutely.
Oh, your guy, of course, we can't forget Aesop Rock. That's it.
And then you have the whole like rhyme sayers sphere. You could call all that stuff underground. Like, Aesop Rock, LP.
Oh, yeah.
See, I fall in the middle where I'm like, I feel like I kind of bridge this gap where I'm like, I understand the youngins, but I also relate to everything that you guys are saying about like actual underground. I got confused for a while where I was like, wait, what the fuck happened to the sound that was underground? Like that Playboy Cardi adjacent sound was underground when I was in high school. Yeah. You know, it was not popular. It was like SoundCloud rap, basically. All of that was underground. So it's like, I get it. I kind of feel like I bridge this gap where I get that part now, but I also still way relate more to like underground in the sense that you guys are talking about.
My first experience with hearing that was someone telling me about Papoose. And I respect Papoose, a good guy and everything, but that being my first experience thinking that's what underground music was supposed to sound like, I didn't enjoy it very much, I have to say. But man, it's crazy to look back and just see like, is it even considered underground? Again, like you were saying, what even is considered that, right? Or it's like the whole thing with like albums and mixtapes. Like a mixtape is just an album that you don't want to count like under your contract or whatever, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Because I mean, we got a 30-song mixtape. So, you know, like
Earl and Mike called this a mixtape. It's interesting because they both have their own labels.
Yeah.
Mike has 10K and Earl has Tan Cressida, and this was released under both. So whatever choice it was for them to call it a mixtape, I'm not sure, because I'm pretty sure they have enough control over their own labels to call it whatever they want, but maybe that was more for the fans because they almost kind of were lowering expectations a little bit. Earl was saying stuff like, the real hip hop heads, this is going to be the worst thing we've ever dropped.
Yeah. Good marketing.
Yeah. That's kind of like what I was saying with him just being more of a vibe rapper. I expect him to still go back and forth between technical and vibe, like over the course of his career. But right now, with what he's doing with this project, it's all vibe.
To be technical, like that is a very fun thing to do, and it's a fun thing when you can execute it, hear it, and then like see people catching bars that like you weren't sure if people were going to catch or not. Like there is a good rewarding feeling from that, I'm sure. But also like you want to add some vibes to your catalog. You want to be able to get heard by more than just people who are really into the lyrical and the
and have fun party songs to perform live. I think they're touring right now. I would love to go see them. I'm gonna see if there's shows near me.
They're gonna be at Pine Knob, 30 minutes away from me.
Oh, nice.
Gotta go.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, we did have some super long projects this week. Another mixtape that's very long that we listened to this week, that I had some time to listen to at least, was Juicy J, The Trippy Tapes, Volume 1, hosted by the legendary DJ Scream. Some dope classic trap, definitely some fluff. It's 31 songs, so that's pretty damn long, but if you're down to listen through it, there's definitely some Juicy J gems on here. It's mostly produced by Lex Luger, with some tracks also produced by T Major, Ghost Rage, Mickey Swift, and then Juicy himself produced some joints on this. For me, standout tracks, Riley, Daywalker, I Want a Baby, You Not That, Scotty featuring Babyface E, and Gophers Gophers was funny.
Riley for me was a must-have. I love that song, like, because it's, I don't know if you knew, but it's basically like he added the sound effect on the original song that was on a mixtape from like 2011.
Okay, I saw it was a remix.
Yeah, so it's just like it's the same exact song, but when there's like a gunshot, it goes like "fa," which is like the TikTok sound.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just like
That's
it blew
smart.
up on TikTok, and he was like, "Hey, like,"
Yeah.
and I saw a video of him being surprised because again, it's like a 10, I think even 15-year-old song, and he was like, "Hey, I think he said his niece or something told him, oh, I love your song on TikTok," and he was like, "Which song are you talking about?" Because hopefully not Slob on My Knob or anything like that, right? But yeah, Riley I'm happy you put that on there. I will say though, like, it's a lot of songs. I will always listen to every single new Juicy J release. I will always find a good chunk of maybe even a quarter, half of the mixtapes always have like savable songs that I can come back to. But this many songs, I feel like he could have definitely done 3 different albums, and I would have still checked all 3. Like, say he dropped like one this month, one next month, and like another one after, I would have checked all 3 of them. But to sit through 31 songs was a little long. Even though every song was good, every song was consistent. Like you said, Jacob, there's some funny hooks on there. There's some hooks that I think if it would have been said by someone else that was maybe a little bit less confident, it would have been cringe. But I mean, it's Juicy J. Can't really get more confident that he can do what he wants at this point.
Yeah.
If he can produce a full 31 song album, let the guy do what he wants.
Yeah, so expect more from him and DJ Scream.
Oh, and I forgot to mention there's a posthumous Beat King feature on there. So
Shit.
yeah, which felt weird and random. I don't know if there's maybe like a story where maybe like he already had the feature and like already had the song locked in, because I feel like probably everyone has a song locked in with Juicy J at this point. And like to me, like he seems like the kind of guy that does a lot of like verse for verse or something like that. So maybe he had it like in the vault for a while, but it was a nice little short verse.
Oh yeah. I always like Juicy J. It's just 31 songs, pretty fucking long. So I've been kind of waiting on that one. But Juicy J, like you were saying, Matt, he can do whatever the fuck he wants now.
It's
like
the thing.
He did that shit with Logic and let Logic produce the entire album and like did it at a different speed and like all this shit, and it was really cool. But yeah, he can do whatever the fuck he wants at this point. And most of his music too, I feel like, is meant to be played in clubs, at parties. Absolutely has his own sound, and that's perfectly okay. You know, like some people can't do that, and it's like, okay, dude, you sound corny and played out. I don't feel that way at all when I listen to Juicy J. So
there's literally never been a time that I've been tired of hearing the yay ho like ad lib. Like even like the specific 3/6, like the snare roll and everything. I never get tired of hearing it ever. Even though I just complained that 31 songs was long, it's still like, if you have the time to listen to it and you are dedicated to hearing 31 songs of pretty much the same vibe, it's good. It's just not everyone can do that, right?
Yeah.
Especially like there's different producers, but it is mainly the Lex Luger sound pretty much.
Yeah.
But
no, I go what you
not
mean.
mad.
And like I like that. So I was excited when I heard it was mostly Lex. But that's just because, like, to me, I love hearing the classic trap Juicy J sound. So I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Okay, cool.
Right.
It's not anything surprising, but it's consistent and it's good all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Juicy J, the tribute tapes, hosted by DJ Scream, Volume 1. So maybe we could look forward to more of those in the future. What do you guys want to talk about next?
Swae Lee. Swae Lee is the kind of artist that sounds better with someone else, in the sense that I think that Swae Lee cannot possibly become it's gonna sound weird, but I don't think he can become any better than he is. I feel like his writing is great, his singing is great. I'm not saying he's perfect, but I'm saying that the only thing that could basically make him grow and sound different, I think, is collaboration. At the end of the day, like, Ray Shremmerd is a group that, no matter what you want to say, from 2010 to 2020, you can say Ray Shremmerd was, if not the biggest hip-hop group of that era. For a hip-hop group to come out with 2 albums, Black Beatles is a huge song. Just Black
huge.
Beatles
I love
alone.
it. I love it too.
Yeah.
I still listen to it all the time.
That song alone has,
You know,
I think they're at like 2 billion streams. Like, that is,
I wouldn't be surprised.
and for that to be the second album that came out, like, what, 7 years later from the first one? Like, no one thought Ray Shremmerd was coming with any more hits. Like, we thought they were done. We saw Slim Jimmy kind of fizzle out, you know, no one knew what was going to happen. And then Swae Lee got Black Beetle, then Unforgettable. And then nothing else happened after. But I mean, also on Sicko Mode, there's like a Swae Lee ad lib on there, which like created like this hype, and like Swae Lee is huge. So to me, that's a guy that needs to expand his sound with collaboration. Like his biggest songs are done through collaborative efforts. I just find that the solo songs, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, this guy's great. He's amazing. I don't care to keep listening to it. It's like it's in some way it's almost too good where it's like I want something different to do with that sound, you know? Add some different flavors and different things to kind of make you step out of your comfort zone and be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Maybe work with some new producers too.
Absolutely.
See, I will say the Spider-Man shit that he did, that's probably the only other big thing that I've really liked. Sunflower, I mean, Annihilate, Calling, like he's got quite a few songs on that.
He has a song with Internet Money that's called Thrusting with Future, and it didn't do great, but I love that song.
No, it goes so hard though. I know, I love Internet Money. That was one of the first producer groups that I was like really, really heavily into.
Oh, Arms Around You with XXX and Maluma, like. And like this guy is good. That's the thing. But every single song where I'm like, it's amazing.
Those
it's collaborative.
Songs are good with the features, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, what is he? I don't know. I feel like he's more of a pop artist in that sense, you know, like if you're going to label it by the way the work comes out and shit. So it's like, instead of marketing yourself or thinking of yourself as like R&B or hip hop or whatever it is that he recognizes himself as, I feel like you should just lean into the collaborative pop star shit, you know, like that's all I feel like that's a majority of pop music is like, you got 2 or 3 people on a song, whether it's like a name producer and 2 featured artists or just 2 featured artists, like whatever it is, those songs pop the fuck off. Just lean into that, in my opinion. And that's not any hate towards what he's doing, but it's just I feel like you said, he would just continue to blow.
Like Swae has something very special where he can shop around songs. Like for example, like Unforgettable, there was the beat and there was the Swae hook already when French heard it. And so the French verse on Unforgettable has that melody that Swae uses. And so it just shows like Swae will build a song and can shop around the song, and like he's giving you a packaged kind of like a solid hook where you can kind of bounce off of and make you sound better, you know? I'm sure he also has crazy writing credits that we probably for sure. But yeah, that's again great album. It's just it was forgettable. So.
The name is appropriate then. Swae Lee with Same Difference. Gav, you want to talk about one of your picks?
Yeah, I'll bring up the Link Sinatra Fly Money Chillz Project Visions. Personally, really, really enjoyed this. I've been hearing a lot of stuff just kind of like as it's been being worked out, demos and stuff like that. And so I was really excited for this because I kind of had an idea of what was coming, but I also knew that it was still going to get polished and tweaked and finished. So this was super exciting for me to hear. I thought a couple standout tracks were Diego Money, Grind. Grind I thought was sick because Fly Money Chillz starts it off by saying greatness requires interest and nonstop dedication, Grind. And I didn't catch that even the first time around. Like I was listening again and I was like, oh shit. But then Link also has a line on that. It says, hit his hip, make him hop. How you thought of that? These are people that I listen to a decent amount. So it's just cool to see like this coming out, being really polished and being, I feel like a really good release for both of their catalogs.
Nice. Yeah, I had the chance to check this out once and I thought it was pretty good. I liked the first track, Opulence. That was a pretty good hook on there.
Oh yeah.
I've personally never heard of him, but I've really been listening to a lot of Detroit rap lately. I have to add that to my rotation.
Definitely check this shit out because he's been doing it for 10 plus years here.
I'll definitely check him out.
Yeah, it's fun going to shows that he does and shit too. I've recorded a couple music videos and shit with him, and we'll just be like on the corner of a block and people will be driving by and be like, yo, Link. Like they just, everyone knows who this motherfucker is. So it's just kind of cool to see. And I know he's been really, really working hard lately and like polishing his shit and putting a lot of effort into how his releases are coming out and like how his imagery is coming across. So it's just cool to see that kind of all leveling up.
Next, I want to talk about Nino Breeze with Omertá. Nino Breeze is a Florida rapper signed to MMG under Rick Ross. And speaking of Detroit rappers, he seems to be super tapped in. 2 of my favorite songs on here were Shine featuring I Swear Vezo and Cuttin' Up featuring Pizzo. So he's clearly tapped in with what's going on in Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
And then I also really liked What Pain Do. But Nino Breeze, I wasn't familiar with him, but he has a genuinely unique flow. It took me a few listens to get it, but I became a fan by the end of the week. I don't even know how to describe describe his flow. It's just Nino Breeze. I recommend checking it out if you've never heard it before. It probably is like an acquired taste. Like you might hate it or you might love it, but it's worth checking out in case you're one of the people that loves it. The beats are pretty typical MMG trap beats. Not that that's a bad thing, but his flow over the beats makes the songs unique. So total surprise to me, but I recommend checking out Nino Breeze Omertá.
Hell yeah. I'm looking right now. I want to check out those 2 songs you were talking about with Peasy and I Swear Vezo, Shine and Cutting Up. Yeah.
He had signed to MMG and then I believe had to serve time. And I think it was like a good 4 or 5-ish years, which is just an unfortunate thing, right? Like when you're on the cusp of getting that kind of label push and everything, and then like you can't. But yeah, no, like you said, very unique flow. That's a very specific cadence, but it works. I love to see that MMG is having kind of a, not a resurfacing, because I mean, Rick Ross has always been around, right? But I feel like for a little bit, MMG kind of went their separate ways. Like Meek started doing his thing, Wale did his thing, and then a lot of the other MMG people that I was hoping to hear more from, we didn't. So it's nice to see. I don't know if he's rebuilding the label, kind of pushing more artists out, but yeah, I'm happy to see it.
This was a good sign in my opinion.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if like Stolly is still signed to MMG. Like there's a few artists I remember from back in the day, but it's just nice to see Rick Ross kind of sitting back in his head of label chair and putting stuff out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matt, you want to do another pick?
There was, the Tory Lanez album was, I don't have much to say about it. I will say that Tory Lanez is another one of, so it's the LOL Slutty Bass album.
Terrible name. But I will say that Tory Lanez is one of those people where consistency is a bit of a curse, where there's no bad songs, the writing is good, the singing is good, the production, surprisingly, for all of the releases that he's been putting out. I mean, this guy's been putting out hundreds of releases, like a year, basically. Seems like when he went into serving time, he started just dropping even more music. So, I mean, this album is good, consistent, good production, again, good writing, everything. I didn't find that there was anything really standout, especially seeing how we got quite a few different genre albums before. Like for me, that one album where he had the color violet on it and the Lady of Namek, where it was like kind of like prom kind of style music.
That one.
Amazing.
I haven't liked a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one I was like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
Yeah. Oh, Alone at Prom. That's what it's called. Yeah. Then Sorry for What after it was good. Like that. Like it's been good. It's just it now is starting to feel where things are kind of sounding more like one type of way. So I'm hoping to see him kind of step out and try those different sounds again. Alone that Alone at Prom sound, that like synth wavy, like
it was 80s synth.
And I felt like basically, with the time Stranger Things was popping, that Kate Bush song was popping. It just worked, you know. So again, good album, but it didn't have that like magical feeling from the other ones.
It's missing the pizzazz.
Rest in peace, Megan's foot.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, so yeah, next I want to talk about Coyote, produced by Selektah with Machetes and Micheladas. The beats are expectedly great from Selektah, incredible boom bap producer. I wasn't familiar with Coyote, but I was impressed. Really strong songwriting, great strong song concepts. This was definitely one of my favorites from this week. Standout tracks on this one for me: What's Peace, featuring Locksmith and R.A. the Rugged Man. It's super powerful civil rights song. Cortez on My Feet, that's a fun one. And Kid Named Johnny. Really strong storytelling, amazing beats. I really recommend this for anyone that likes like boom bap lyrical shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
The Ari the Rugman verse is just that whole song was a very powerful, like you said, just like emotion invoking. I feel like it's very scary to go into politics, especially now, and I think that they did it in a very tasteful, brave way. There's no other way to go about it. Everything was written really, really well. And yeah, like you said, it's a whole album of just raps, you know. So I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, really a good listen. It's the kind of thing where I really want to kind of sit there and you know, take apart every bar and really listen to what they're saying. If you're someone who loves doing that, then this is the one for you for sure.
That's exciting, because I'll just sit there with Genius open and follow along, because I'm like, that's the kind of shit that I love, you know. Like I love that. It's almost like showing off a little wit too, which I just always appreciate in things, any art form, you know.
Yeah, it's like comedy and drama combined.
And
like that's
again two of my favorite
hip-hop
things. Yeah.
And I was surprised to hear there's an intro with Exhibit on it.
Yes, that's right. Exhibit did a intro. I should have mentioned that. That's a good call.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
All right, Gab, you want to do another pick?
Yeah, the last one I listened to was the Currency Wiz Khalifa album, Roofless Records for Drop Tops Disc 1. That's what it is. So I really like this one. I really like Wiz Khalifa and Currency together. Granted, I don't listen to either of them separately all that often. Not that I don't like either of them. Like, I have listened to their solo projects, but I really just love the two of them together. Like, the way that the beats are selected, like, everything just comes out really, really well. And you can kind of tell who takes lead on each song on it, which is cool too. And like the production follows that as well. Like if Currency is going to be the one that's really featured on that song, like the same one is one of the songs on there that's kind of like a Currency standout in my opinion. You can tell like if you listen to his solo stuff, it's similar, you know, whereas like when Wiz Khalifa is doing Live Fast, Burn Slow, it's like makes you feel like something off of Black and Yellow or something like that. I thought it was sick. Rari Twins was the other song that I was really excited about. You take your Rari, I'll take mine. It's just kind of a catchy like hook song.
Yeah.
All that kind of listening to Wiz Khalifa to listen to that sound, and then you add Currency with it, and it's just like, okay, cool. Then now there's this West Coast bounce flow to it.
Yeah.
And I do find that Wiz's pen kind of grew to almost a level of Swae's where Wiz is writing really good hooks. And he's singing them, and more and more and more I'm hearing these really nice melodic hooks that he's doing, and like I really respect it. And especially like, growing up on like the whole Taylor Gang movement and everything, like he was doing the sing-songy, but it was like the same sing-songy that every rapper was doing at that time, where it's like you're singing bad but it sounds good. But now it just, I find his voice, I don't know if he like what he's been doing, vocal lessons or whatever, but he's putting together really solid hooks.
I think he talked about that shit a little bit where he was like, man, I run a record label now, like because he was for a while he was just doing features for the most part. Like he stopped dropping solo projects, and like he's like, I can just hop on any of my artists' songs and like drop a verse or do a hook or something, like, and it helps and it sounds good and like everyone gets paid. He's like, I've got a lot going on. I don't have to put out a ton of albums on my own anymore. So
yeah, that makes sense. All right, that was Wiz Khalifa and Currency with Roofless Records for Drop Tops. Do you have any more, Matt?
I was gonna bring up the Bbymutha album. I love her. She's underrated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't check this out. Tell me about it. Bbymutha Rents Do.
Yeah, so she's just one of those rappers that are just different. She had a hit called Rules and then had other songs that did well, but she's kind of remained consistent through that whole time, even though she didn't blow up. Like she did songs with like Young Baby Tate, who like she went on to be really successful, right? So I mean, Bbymutha's always remain consistent, and the reason why I bring her up is I just, you know, I'd love for people to check her out. I think the production is very unique. The subject matter will be very similar to what other female rappers talk about, but the way in which she says it is just, I think, better, funnier. She just has a way of basically saying that men aren't shit in a catchy way. And the beats too sound very kind of like, it's hard to find a comparison, but almost early Doja Cat, where it sounds very like when you're at that point where the bedroom beats, like the beats that maybe you're able to make or another producer or something, have that kind of distinct sound where it's like it requires confidence to create, where it's like, you know, maybe more like aggressive 808s, different drums, like just like weird synths and stuff like that.
More experimental.
That's it, yeah. And like every song is unique. Each song doesn't sound the same as the last one. Definitely urge people to check it out.
All right, nice. I want to now for sure. Well, speaking of unique female rappers, there is a young group called 41 from Brooklyn, New York. It's a 3-person group, female rapper named Jen Carter and 2 dudes, Kylie Rich and Tata. This project is their debut album after blowing up in like 2022 area. They're kind of like a Gen Z TikTok drill group, right? They just started recording together as friends on BandLab in 2020.
Holy shit.
And then they got signed, and this is their debut album. They're a controversial group because of some of their earlier songs having very violent drill lyrics, but now they're leaning more towards like a party-oriented lyrics, probably because their label was like, you guys need to chill.
We have to sell this to the masses.
Yeah. So 41 had another album before in 2023, but it's not an album. It's specifically called 41, not the album. So it's a mixtape, I guess.
Okay.
Right.
Hold
yeah.
up. bro.
You guys have probably heard this song.
Actually
Bent.
heard of them?
Bent was did really good.
I hadn't heard it before checking it out. I was so surprised by their monthly listeners. They had 3 million monthly listeners. And I'd never heard of them. And then I was like, oh, okay, they're like big with Gen Z and they're kind of just blew up off of these singles. But I guess you're saying they also had an album. But I think Bent wasn't off that album though, I don't think, right? It was like
Bent was on
an
EP before that album. They had been dropping, but I think that I had read as well like the whole thing over BandLab, and I think that this album was maybe just more polished and put together. Because the other ones were more like they had like a mixtape feel.
This sounds super professional, very well put together. I was really surprised with how the beats, they're definitely completely rooted in Brooklyn drill, but there's actually some really unique beats on here, and the lyrics aren't like blatantly offensive. But I went back to it a few times and I really enjoyed it. The standout tracks for me on it were the first song, Starlets, Dracos and ARPs. I'm just talking about how they're not as violent, but of course they got one of my favorite songs called Dracos and ARPs featuring G Herbo. Also like Last Night featuring Cash Cobain.
Being from Canada, I have a bad idea of what the American geography is. And so I had been into Jersey club beats for a while. So when I heard 41 and I heard that half the album is like Brooklyn drill and the other half is Jersey club, I was like, why? And I didn't realize that New Jersey is like right there.
Oh, fuck is going on?
I thought it was separate. This is completely...
No, like people live in Jersey and work in New York.
That's it.
And they pay a lot of money every day.
That's so funny that you didn't realize that.
I do have a bit of a hard time with when they use the Jersey club, like the tum 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 tum, but it's like very slow, and that's what like a lot of like Jen Carter's flow is very on that kind of cadence, and I find that after a couple songs, it does become a bit of like a very robotic a little bit.
I think the thing that fought that off for me was the 3 different vocalists that all came at it with such a different vibe.
100%.
They all have completely different flows, and tonally their vocals sound a lot different. So yeah, I agree. Like the beats are kind of the same thing, rhythmically definitely, but with that genre, you expect the drums to be a certain way, so you have to just play with other things besides the drums. So they really played with the melodies and wrote really beautiful melodies. You can actually put something really like soulful over that boom, 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 even over that.
And I was happy to hear more of Jen Carter too. I hope that she gets more. I hope actually all 3 of them, hopefully this helps them maybe branch out and we get to hear them on, other things. There was also on there was a song which I think was NLE Choppa's, but I guess maybe they included it on the album because he's like the primary artist on that song.
Yeah, that was interesting. It's called Or What.
And it sounds like his type of song too, because like he's been on that whole Slut Me Out and like all those songs.
That's where I lost him.
Oh really? I Slut Me Out 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which
at 1.
At 1. Damn.
I was just like, damn, man, I saw you perform Camelot live and this just isn't the same.
That's crazy.
It's like, but that's just me. And like, I understand that it appeals to an entire different mass of people because like, do whatever the fuck works, man. Like Blueface changed his whole thing after it got kind of old after a little bit and then disappeared, but that's a separate story. But
I like the Blueface flow.
It's actually pretty good.
A lot of times I'll put on hip hop. My girlfriend will be like, oh, you she can't stand it. She'll be like, oh, you like the guys that like are off flow, and sometimes it's not that like they are on pocket. It's just that it's a different type of pocket. I will say Blueface definitely for the most part sometimes tends to go off tempo, but it is still on beat, just different.
Yeah, like when someone's ahead of the beat, it just makes you like have a different type of anticipation. It makes you feel different when you listen to it. So it's done very purposefully.
It's like it tickles this weird sense. Yeah.
The last thing I want to say is just, again, shout out to Jen Carter. One of my favorite songs is called Situated. It was a solo song from her. It's one of the least streamed songs from the new project, which is disappointing. It's one of the best. Definitely go check out Situated by 41 and Jen Carter. But yeah, that was 41 with Area 41. All right, so like we said at the top, this was a super full week. We talked about 41 with Area 41, Bbymutha with Rents Due, Coyote and Statik Selektah with Machetes and Micheladas, Juicy J with the Trippy Tapes Volume 1 hosted by DJ Scream, Wiz Khalifa and Currency with Roofless Records for Drop Tops, Fly Money, Chillz and Link Sinatra with Visions, Mike and Earl Sweatshirt, produced by Surf Gang with Pompeii Utility, Nino Breeze with Omertá, Swae Lee with Same Difference, Tory Lanez with LOL Slutty Bass. The ones we didn't talk about, Selektah with Born to Stunt, Co-Defendants with Lifers, Marlon Craft with The Internet Killed the Neighborhood, Dave East with East Mix Volume 3, Kid Wild with Job Still Not Done, Liphead with The Long Way, Nine Vicious with Emotions, Thundercat with Distracted. Kind of surprised we didn't talk about that, but it was a really busy week, like we said. R2R Mo with The Greatest Show on Earth, Young KO with Komodo, and lastly, K Rhino with The End Us Tree. All right, so let's talk about what else we've been doing in music this week. For me, I mixed and mastered a couple tracks, one for a rapper named OTR Cuddy, and another for a rapper named Jay-Z the Kid.
Oh, not Jay-Z.
That's about it. Not Jay-Z. Gav, what else have you been doing in music this week?
Yeah, it's kind of been a slow week for me, just working on beats and then doing an engineering session tomorrow. So
nice.
Yes, sir.
What about you, Matt?
I've been working on beats because I've been working on some Detroit style beats. So I'm trying to get myself into more dark vibes. I tend to, whenever I work on beats, it tends to be more upbeat and happy. So I'm trying to get, more gritty and yeah, so just going for that vibe, immersing myself in it, been listening to a lot of that kind of rap to try and, stay in that vibe. So it was challenging with the releases that we had, especially, when you have 30 songs of Juicy J, it really takes you out of that kind of vibe. So yeah, they're just trying to immerse myself in these vibes and finish some beats.
Good shit. Cool. So releases coming up next week. We have Buddy with Simmy Sims 3, Skrilla with Z, Snoop Dogg with 10 Till Midnight, TF and DJ Muggs with Don't Call Me Lucky, and lastly, Wesley Joseph with Forever Someday. Thank you, listeners. If you haven't already, please give us a like and subscribe on YouTube, or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, take a second to rate us 5 stars. You can also save the F2F Spotify playlist to follow along with what we're listening to through the week. So what is that? It's a living playlist that we update every week with not all the latest releases, but all the ones that we might end up talking about on the show, so you can listen with us throughout the week before we talk about it. It's what we use to listen to the weekly releases, and you guys should use it too. So, we've done the work for you. And you can find that link in the description. To get a hold of us, you can email fridaytofridaypodcast@gmail.com. Our intro and outro music by Lunar G. Find him at prodbylunar.g. Podcast edited by me, Jacob, from Frequency Overflow. You can find me at Frequency Overflow. Join us every week to stay in tune with hip-hop releases from Friday to Friday. Peace.
Peace.